Thank you, Mr. President. A piece of good news, and I wanted to talk about Walt Stein from Hartsville, Ohio, an Ohio veteran. His story is a reminder of the caring and fundamental decency of the people of my state. It's a reminder of our country's veterans' camaraderie and dedication to each other, veterans from Arkansas, veterans from Ohio, all over this country. 2 decades ago, Mr. Stein's friend found a Purple Heart at a flea market. He bought it, he gave it to Walt Stein, hoping his friend, a World War II veteran, would know how to return it to its rightful owner. Mr. Stein then set out on a quest. This was long before the internet, making it much harder, to return the Purple Heart to the stranger who had earned it, who had received it decades earlier during the Vietnam War. Mr. Stein said of the Purple Heart, "It means a lot to me. They don't pass them out in Cracker Jack boxes. You really have to earn it. And I know he earned his, and I want to get it back to him. Or if he's not around anymore, I want to get back to his family." Mr. Stein and his wife, Sandy, Mr. and Ms. Stein, tried and tried. They wrote letters, they made phone calls. They couldn't find the veteran. The veteran, he said, was named Cox Bartlemay. Finally, they realized there was a typo in the letter awarding the Purple Heart. The veteran's name was actually Coy Bartlemay. The print said Cox Bartlemay, C-O-X. Once they figured out it was a typo, they realized it was Coy Bartlemay. He was a Vietnam veteran. He had lost half his leg during the war. He was awarded the Purple Heart that Mr. Stein's friend found buried in one of the booths at the flea market. Tragically, Mr. Bartlemay was killed in a car crash after returning home from the war, but his family still lives in Illinois. Because of Mr. Stein's dedication, that Purple Heart is now on its way back to the recipient's family, the family of the gentleman who fought for this country and earned that Purple Heart in Vietnam. I want to thank Rob Powers with WEWS in Cleveland for telling this story. It's the kind of work that local journalists do every day to celebrate what people do in our communities. I want to thank Mr. Bartlemay's family for his service, and of course, thank you to Walt Stein for your dedication to our country, to your service to our country, and to your fellow veterans.